In eMarketing workshop, we managed to meet up with McKeagney, the MD of IQ Content. Let's see what he had to say.
Okay, I'm now here with McKeagney from IQ Content. Morgan, we're here at the Enterprise Island event in Cork, and you were talking about measuring the ROI of your website and using web analytics, and you were really about conversion rates and so on. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So basically, it's the big challenge for companies, I think, is to start. Web it's a fantastic channel for driving sales, for cutting costs, etc. But we're finding that very, very few people are actually really measuring what they're doing and have a really clear sense of what are the key things that we're actually trying to achieve with our site.
Yeah.
So just a couple of really simple things that everybody can do really. First of all, have some really clear objectives for why you've got a website and what you're trying to achieve from it.
Yeah.
Secondly, then attach some KPIs, key performance indicators, to each of those objectives. So, for example, if you're trying to sell stuff, I want to sell Y amount of this widget by X period of time.
Yeah.
So to have clear objectives, and then to actually start tracking and measuring your site based on those objectives. So there's lots of free tools out there that you can use. Google Analytics is absolutely fantastic. It's free. It can give you pretty much everything that you need to get from it. Key challenge is making sure that you're measuring the right stuff, that you're actually measuring those key core performance indicators for your site. And then based on the data, measuring and then improving your site. So one of the things that analytics will tell you, to show you where there are problems, where people are falling out of a process, for example, where you're losing lots of visitors from a particular stage or a particular page on your site. So it'll highlight issues that you need to resolve on your site. So it's about then enhancing those and fixing those problems and driving always to try and make the experience better and better and better for your customers.
Okay, great. That's very good. So, I mean, I think it's a very tricky area, and I think we all need to get into Google Analytics and really watch it a lot. What are your top 3 tips if somebody really wants to start out with it now and make the best out of it?
Okay, well, I think the first thing to do is sit down yourself and figure out what are your core objectives for your site. So you don't need any technology to do that. You just need to sit down and say, what do I want this site to achieve, and what are the key numbers or the key things that I need to track to make that happen. Second thing then is to obviously go to google.com/analytics, get the code. So what you need to do is just put a snippet of code on each of the pages that you want to track, and then you should be up and tracking. You need to make sure that configuration is done right. So one of the problems that people have is that configuration is sometimes not quite right.
Don't do it in DIY way.
So make sure that you get the right numbers and that you're tracking the right things. And then finally, actually act on those numbers. So we know lots of people who just look at it, take some kind of curiosity out of it, but aren't actually changing the way that they do stuff or aren't changing how they manage their business. So you need to act on those metrics.
Okay, brilliant.
Constant and continuous improvement.
It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing project. Okay, Morgan, thank you very much. That's super. Looking forward to talk to you.
Thanks.